By the end of this vlog, you will know exactly how to make your very own Oracle deck. My name is Tamsin and I am the person behind Ionea. I am a digital artist. I specialize in designing and crafting Oracle decks, both in-house and also have experience having my decks manufactured and the final product made through a supplier. Before we begin with the creating and designing aspect of the decks, I will walk you through the things you'll need to make your Oracle decks. The first thing to think about is how you'll be designing your decks. For this, you don't need to be an experienced artist. Your deck can simply consist of writing and phrases and a simple background. You could probably do this easily through websites like Canva. However, if you are an artist and your aim is to use your own artworks on your decks, then you will simply need your everyday drawing materials that you would use. For a digital artist, this may be an iPad, Procreate, or something like Clip Studio Paint. As I am a digital artist, I will use my iPad and Procreate, as these are the tools that I predominantly use. However, at times I also use Photoshop as a way of resizing the artworks and adding text. At the moment, Procreate doesn't have a text stroke option, but Photoshop does, and that's why I like it. Saying that, I actually haven't used Photoshop for the majority of my decks. If you are a traditional artist or photographer, then you can use your paintings or drawings or your photographs. In this case, I would more recommend the use of a software like Photoshop to fine-tune your traditional artworks and your photographs. Then for actually making the physical deck, you will need your materials. If you plan to use a supplier or manufacturer, you can skip this. However, if you would like to start making decks at home for a lower starting cost, then you'll need a printer to print from. I use the Epson EcoTank 2810. For me, the Eco inks and the quality of the prints with this printer are outmatched and perfect for printing your own high quality decks. However, they can be in the more mid-range cost of printers and inks, so it depends if it fits your budget. When I first designed Oracle decks and made my own at home, I was using a £40 standard printer to do this with. You won't achieve as high quality with this, and the inks in my opinion are consumed way too quickly and are incredibly expensive. So in this case, if you do have the ability to save or you have some money already set aside, I would recommend my setup. Next up, you will need a type of card or paper to print on. I will always recommend that you use a paper that matches your printer if they have it. For Oracle cards, you will need your paper to be double-sided, so that you can also print the backs. I wouldn't recommend using one-sided and sticking the pages together, as this is too much valuable time spent doing this and will increase the cost of your end product too much that it may not be as affordable or as accessible. I use Epson double-sided matte archival paper. When you hold the paper without laminate, it is not thick enough to be an Oracle card. However, once laminated, and depending on the size you cut each card to, it will have a good amount of thickness for each individual card. Which brings us onto laminating your printouts of your cards. For this, you will of course need a laminator and some laminating pouches. You can find pretty affordable laminators on Amazon, which is what I did. And then for the pouches, I like to use these ones from Amazon and they are matte. But you have the option of using any kind of laminating pouch you like, such as glossy or holographic. Once the cards are laminated, you will then need tools to cut your cards. I would highly recommend not to use scissors for this. Again, you don't want this process to be any more effort than it needs to be, and scissors won't give you as professional of a look to your cards. I use a guillotine to cut my cards. Then once each card has been cut out, I use a corner rounder to cut the edges. Again, both can be found on Amazon, and it doesn't matter too much which you get as long as the blades are nice and sharp for smooth edges. Finally, once your decks are fully made, you'll need packaging to send to your customers if the path you're taking is to sell, or packaging for yourself or friends if it's for personal use or gifting. Tarot decks typically come in custom fit boxes and with a guidebook. This process is done through a manufacturer. You would design the look of the box and design your guidebook, and they will make sure everything fits nicely in the box and make up the physical product. I usually remove my guidebooks and boxes from my tarot decks and put them in organza bags for easier access, and this is probably why I prefer to package my own decks this way. However, once I make a tarot deck, this will be with a box and a guidebook. You can of course do this for Oracle decks as well. However, to be able to get my decks into my shop at a faster rate, I will use my own packaging of organza bags. But you can use something as simple as non-plastic wallets. Designing the Oracle deck. These are some of my designs for my Oracle decks. For most, I created the artwork specifically with a deck in mind, and for the others, I used artwork I already had to create a complete deck. For my most recent deck, I used all my recent fairy illustrations to make the deck. Once I had chosen a piece of artwork for a card, I would then work on what phrase the front would have. When going into this, I like to use a range of phrases that will be of the topic of advice, self-love, motivation, or prediction. Tarot cards mainly are used as advice and prediction, and you can use oracle decks in this manner too. The great thing about oracle decks is that it can be about whatever you want it to be, whereas with tarot decks there is a specific set of cards and specific meanings. However, you can still change these to your liking to some extent. For instance, the suit of pentacles could be the suit of coins, and so on. When you have your illustration decided for your cards, you may want to add an intricate border. Borders can be seen on tarot decks, and sometimes I like to include them in my oracle decks to match the vibe of the artwork I'm going for. You may hand draw a border like I do in Procreate, or you can use something like Photoshop to make lines and shapes and create a smoother border. You can also download border PNG artworks. Just be sure to check the copyright and buy the rights if needed. Once the front of your cards have been decided, you can then look at all the cards together or the theme of your deck. In my case, my most recent theme was fairies, and then create a design that matches what you're trying to achieve for the backing. For me, when creating the fairy deck, I knew I wanted to have wings on the backing and some pretty detailing to give it an intricate, delicate feel. Another great thing to keep in mind when designing your back, especially in the case of tarot card backs, you want the design to look the same even if the card is flipped the other way around. This is because in tarot, the cards have reversed meanings, and if the back design doesn't look the same both ways, you will logically be able to tell which are reversed, and it will throw off your intuition when it comes to drawing the cards, as your eye will naturally be drawn to the one that looks different. Next up is printing off the artwork. These are my settings for my printer, but you will likely need to play around with your own and test it to get the colors looking how you want them. The default settings of my printer give quite muted coloring, so I need to adjust this slightly. I also make decks of even amounts to the amount I can print to a page, so that I am making the most use of the paper. For the fairy deck, I chose to make it 20 cards. As my standard decks are all 4 to a page, then this works perfectly. For the sizing, I've already played around over the years on what works best, and so that is why I make the scale 92% and do the same for the backing designs. This ensures they'll match up once I cut them. For the backing designs, I will also copy and paste the one image to create 4, so for my settings I can have 4 of the same image on one page. The uniform sizing of 92% means the decks will all be the same size, which is crucial if you are choosing the selling path, as customers need to know what size of decks you offer, and if they buy multiple from you, that they can all be the same uniform size. It's also great for readers who like to mix and match their decks, where they merge a bunch of different decks together and use them as one deck. This to me is especially important as I have been unable to make a high amount of cards to a deck so far, so this gives my customer the opportunity to mix my decks together to create one big one if they choose. Once the decks have been printed on both sides, they will need laminating. I like to softly wipe down both sides of each page to make sure no lint is trapped, as I've had this happen a few times where I laminate the pages with pieces of lint inside and I have to start again. Then I turn on the laminator, wait for it to turn green, place the paper inside a fresh pouch, and once the laminator is ready, make sure to pass it through the correct way and as straight as possible. Once laminated, the deck will need to be cut. For the standard size deck, it's pretty simple. However, for my mini decks, I need to make cut lines and guidelines so that when I'm lining it up to cut, I know exactly where I need to cut so each card is the same size and uniform. In the past, I've created mini decks where some of the cards don't entirely match up, and even though this is part of the package sometimes when hand creating products, some customers don't appreciate it as it can make the deck hard to shuffle. This is where things like the guidelines are so important because they add into the overall satisfaction of your customer. Once we've successfully cut each card, an important step for me is to corner around the edges. This makes it more user-friendly for your customer and eliminates those sharp edges of the corners. For tarot cards, the corner cut is usually a smaller one, but I use a bigger curve for my oracle decks predominantly. I make sure to corner around both one side and the back side, as this creates a cleaner cut, as the card and laminate can be quite tough for the corner rounder to cut through. Once corner rounded, I will push my finger along the edges of the cards to get any stray loose clippings that may have gotten caught in the deck whilst we were cutting. The final and maybe one of the best parts of creating your own oracle deck is packaging it up. Like I mentioned at the start of this video, I like to use organza bags. You can of course use standard eco-friendly non-plastic wallets, but I like the look of the organza bag. To me it feels more like a special gift. You can find all my oracle decks at my Etsy shop or my website ionea.com. Both are linked in the description below. Put any questions you have about the oracle or tarot deck card making process in the comments. Don't forget to like the video if you found it helpful. Thank you so much for watching.